Before we dive in, please remember that the information in this presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional financial, legal, or business advice. The strategies discussed are based on our experience and research, but results are not guaranteed and will vary based on your individual effort, business model, and market conditions. Always consult with a qualified professional before making any significant business decisions. It's 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. You're staring at a spreadsheet, your eyes are burning, and the cold cup of coffee next to you is a perfect metaphor for how you feel. You just spent $300 on a batch of what you were told were premium, exclusive auto insurance leads. You've made 150 calls. You spoke to exactly 14 people. 8 of them hung up on you. 3 of them told you they filled out that form 6 months ago and already have insurance. 2 of them yelled at you for calling during dinner. And 1 just once said they'd think about it and call you back. Which you know and I know is the polite way of saying no. You lean back in your chair, look at the commission goal you wrote on the whiteboard, and you feel that familiar sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. Is this it? Is this what being an insurance agent is all about? Grinding day in and day out on a hamster wheel, spending money you barely have on leads that go nowhere, just to feel like you're falling further and further behind? If that sounds even remotely familiar, then I need you to listen and listen closely for the next few minutes. Because you're not failing. You haven't made a bad career choice. You have been lied to. You've been sold a broken model. The entire lead generation industry as you know it is a machine designed for one thing: to transfer money from your pocket into the pockets of lead vendors. It's built on a foundation of myths, half-truths, and outdated strategies that actively work against you, that burn you out, and that keep you trapped in a cycle of prospecting desperation. This isn't just another video with 5 tips to close more leads. This is an intervention. Over the course of this presentation, we are going to dismantle that broken machine piece by piece. I am going to hand you a completely new playbook, a framework for generating a predictable, consistent, and high-quality flow of new clients. Not leads, clients. People who actually want to talk to you, who see you as an expert, and who aren't being called by 10 other agents at the exact same time. We are going to transform you from a lead buyer, a passive participant in a game rigged against you, into a lead architect. Someone who builds a system, an asset for your business, that generates opportunity on demand. You will learn how to permanently get off that hamster wheel, take back control of your pipeline, and finally build the profitable, sustainable insurance practice you dreamed of when you first got your license. So how do we do that? Starts by understanding the enemy. It starts by shining a harsh, unforgiving light on the lies that have been holding you back. We have to deconstruct the old broken model before we can build the new powerful one. The first and biggest lie is what I call the myth of volume. You've heard it 1,000 times. It's a numbers game. Just make more calls. Dial for dollars. The gurus and the lead vendors love this one because it shifts the blame entirely onto you. If you're not succeeding, it's not because their leads are garbage. It's because you're not working hard enough. You just need to buy more, dial more. Let's be brutally honest. Trying to build a business on low quality, non-exclusive leads is like trying to build a house with rotten wood. It doesn't matter how many nails you hammer or how hard you work. The foundation is fundamentally flawed, and the whole thing is destined to collapse. Making 200 calls a day to people who don't want to talk to you isn't a strategy for success. It's a strategy for burnout. It destroys your confidence, it wastes your most valuable asset, your time, and it positions you as a commodity, a telemarketer, an annoying pest to be avoided. A real numbers game is about metrics that matter. Contact rate, quote rate, close rate. When you're working with high-intent prospects, you might only speak to 20 people in a day, but 10 of them will want a quote, and you'll close 3 or 4 of them. That is a numbers game worth playing. The volume myth is a trap designed to keep you busy, not productive. Keeps you buying more leads, feeding the machine that's bleeding you dry. The second lie, and this one is infuriating, is the exclusive lead lie. How many times have you paid a premium price for a lead that was supposedly exclusive, only to get the prospect on the phone and hear them say, "Oh my God, you're the 7th agent to call me in the last 10 minutes." Let's pull back the curtain on this. In the world of lead vendors, the word exclusive has a very flexible definition. For some, it might mean it's exclusive to them for a few minutes before they sell it to 5 other aggregators. For others, it means it's sold exclusively to 1 agent per zip code, or 1 agent per company. The reality is, the moment a consumer fills out a form on a popular insurance quote website, Their data is often fired through a digital pinball machine, sold and resold in milliseconds to the highest bidders. You're not in a race against the clock. You're in a demolition derby with a dozen other agents, all calling the same exhausted, annoyed person. And who wins in that scenario? The lead company who just got paid by all 12 of you for the same piece of data. They have zero incentive to provide true quality or exclusivity, because their business model is based on quantity and speed, not your success. True exclusivity isn't something you can buy off a shelf, something you have to create. And that brings us to the third, and perhaps most seductive lie of the modern era. The technology silver bullet. Every week there's a new CRM, a new power dialer, a new AI-powered follow-up sequence that promises to solve all your prospecting problems. And while tools are important, they are not the solution. Technology is an amplifier. It amplifies a good strategy, and it amplifies a bad one. If your strategy is to call a list of low-intent, non-exclusive leads, the most advanced power dialer in the world will only help you burn through that list faster. It will help you get 100 no's an hour instead of 20. It will help you automate your journey to burnout. You cannot fix a fundamental strategy problem with a software subscription. It's like putting a bigger, more powerful engine in a car that has no wheels. You'll make a lot of noise, you'll burn a lot of fuel, but you're not going anywhere. The solution isn't a better tool to execute a broken strategy. The solution is a better strategy, period. So here we are. We've established that the game you're being forced to play is a losing one. It's a system built on the myths of volume, false exclusivity, and technological shortcuts. It's designed to grind you down, drain your bank account, and keep you dependent on the very companies that are profiting from your struggle. You're working harder than ever, you're spending more than ever, and you're feeling more stuck than ever. Acknowledging this, truly seeing the system for what it is the painful but necessary first step. So if this entire game is rigged against you, how do you change the rules? How do you stop being a pawn and start becoming the player who controls the entire board? That is the critical question we are going to spend the rest of our time together answering. To change the rules, you first have to understand them with absolute crystal clear clarity. You have to see the matrix. You have to understand the architecture of the game you're being forced to play. Most agents never do. They just keep putting more coins in the machine, pulling the lever, and hoping for a different result. That's the definition of insanity. But you're not most agents. You're here. So let's pull back the curtain and map out the entire casino floor of lead generation. Imagine you walk into this massive, glittering casino. It's loud, it's exciting, and every game is designed to look like a winner. The lead vendors, the house, they've spent billions of dollars on the psychology of this place. They want you to feel a rush of optimism. They want you to believe that the next pull, the next hand, the next call is the one that will change everything. Let's walk over to the biggest, loudest section of the casino floor. The slot machines. This is the world of shared leads. They're cheap to play, maybe a few bucks a pop. The lights are flashing. The bells are ringing for the occasional small win someone else gets, just to keep you hooked. The promise is intoxicating. For just a few dollars, you can get the contact information of someone who supposedly wants an auto insurance quote. What a deal, right? Wrong. It's the single most rigged game in the entire building. When a consumer, let's call her Sarah, goes online and fills out a form on a site like cheapestcarquotestnow.com, she doesn't know what she's just done. She thinks she's getting a quote. What she's actually done is rung a dinner bell. Her information, her name, her phone number, her email, is instantly packaged up and sold. Not to you. Sold to you and 7 other agents. Maybe 10. Maybe more. All at the exact same time. Your phone buzzes. The lead hits your CRM. The race is on. You are now in a dead sprint against a dozen other hungry agents to be the first person to call Sarah. It's not a sales process. It's a thumb war. It's a speed dialing competition. If you're not the first or second person to talk to her, you're basically lighting your money on fire. By the time the 3rd or 4th agent calls, Sarah is annoyed. By the 7th, she's furious. She's screening her calls, blocking numbers, and cursing the day she ever went looking for a quote. Your well-crafted script, your value proposition, your years of experience, they mean nothing. You've been reduced to an unwanted telemarketer. All because the game is designed to create a feeding frenzy. The vendor got paid 12 times for one lead. You got a frustrated prospect and a hit to your morale. Playing the shared lead game is like trying to win a marathon by being the fastest person to run the first 10 feet. It's a fool's errand. So you get smart. You say, I'm done with the slot machines. I'm a professional. I need a game of skill. You walk over to the poker tables. This is the world of exclusive leads. Feels more sophisticated. It's quieter. It's more expensive, a lot more expensive. You're paying a premium $20, $30, even $50 or more for a single lead. But the promise is seductive. This lead is yours and yours alone. It's a one-on-one game. You against the prospect. This is where you can really use your skills to win, right? This is the house's second best trick. The word exclusive is the most abused word in this entire industry. What does it actually mean? The vendor will tell you it means they only sold it to you. And maybe in that specific moment that's technically true. But what they don't tell you is the context. That exclusive lead might be 3 days old. It might have been sold as an exclusive lead to another agent last week, who couldn't close it, so it got recycled back into the system. The consumer's intent, which was once red hot, is now lukewarm at best. Even worse, where did this lead come from? Many exclusive leads are generated through incentives. The consumer wasn't desperately searching for a better insurance policy. They were trying to get a free $75 Amazon gift card for getting a quote. Their intent isn't to buy insurance. Their intent is to get free stuff. You, the agent, are just a box they have to check. You're an obstacle between them and their gift card. So you get on the phone, you're paying this premium price for a one-on-one conversation, and the person on the other end is just trying to rush you off the phone. They give you one-word answers, they're not interested in building rapport, and they just want the quote so they can get their prize. You're playing poker, but the house dealt you a pair of twos and told you it was a full house. You paid for a qualified buyer, but you got a professional contestant. This is where the deep frustration sets in for agents. You're spending serious money now, and the results are still garbage. You feel cheated. You feel lied to. And you are. The vendor doesn't care if the lead closes. They're not paid on your commission. They got paid the second you bought the lead. Their job is done. Yours is just beginning, and you've been set up to fail. So you reach your breaking point. You say, forget all this. I'm done chasing people. I'm done with leads who don't want to talk. I'm going to the VIP room. You stride to the back of the casino, to the velvet ropes and the hushed tones of the live transfers. This is the pinnacle, the most expensive product of all. We're talking $100, $200 or more. For what? A live warm body on the phone. Someone who has been pre-screened, pre-qualified, and is being handed directly to you, ready to buy. This is the sure thing. This is the can't-miss opportunity. And it is, without a doubt, the fastest way to go broke in the entire casino. The dirty little secret of live transfers is the call center that's making the introduction. Who are these people? They are typically low-wage workers in a boiler room, often overseas, who have one job and one job only. Keep a person on the phone long enough to pass them to you. They will say anything to achieve that goal. They'll promise the consumer rates that are impossibly low. They'll imply they're from the DMV or another official sounding agency. They'll use bait-and-switch tactics, telling the prospect they've won a prize and just need to speak to a licensed agent to confirm their details. So the phone rings. You answer with your most professional greeting, ready for this highly qualified, high-intent buyer. And what do you get? A confused, often angry person who says, "Wait, who is this? I was told I was getting a Walmart gift card." Or, "The other guy said I could get insurance for $20 a month. Is that you?" The entire premise of the call is a lie. You're not starting a sales conversation. You're starting an apology. You have to unwind a web of deception that someone else created before you can even begin to do your job. The trust is already broken. You paid $200 to be the cleanup crew for the vendor's mess. Shared leads, exclusive leads, live transfers. The slot machines, the poker table, the VIP room. They all have one thing in common. They are all games on the casino floor, and the house always wins. In every single one of those scenarios, you, the agent, have zero control. You don't control the source of the lead. You don't control the message the consumer saw. You don't control what they were promised. You don't control the cost. You are a renter. You are a player. You are a price taker, not a price maker. You are completely at the mercy of the vendor. This is the fundamental flaw in the traditional lead buying model. You are building your business on rented land. And the landlord can, and will, raise the rent, change the rules, or sell the land out from under you without a moment's notice. So how do you escape? How do you stop renting and start owning? You have to stop playing games in someone else's casino. You have to build your own. You have to become the house. And that means building an asset that you control, a lead generation machine that works for you, not for a vendor. It's a shift from being a gambler to being an architect. And in the next part, I'm going to give you the blueprint. So let's lay the first stone. This blueprint isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a fundamental shift in how you view your agency's growth. It's about building a fortress, not just buying bricks. This fortress, your lead generation machine, stands on 3 massive pillars. Get these 3 right, and you'll never have to worry about where your next client is coming from again. The 3 pillars are the foundation, the engine, and the conversion system. Let's break them down one by one. Pillar number 1 is the foundation. This is your digital real estate. It's your home base in the online world. Before you spend a single dollar driving traffic, you have to have a place to send them that's built to convert. Your foundation consists of 2 key components: your website and your local online profiles. First, your website. I need you to stop thinking of your website as a digital business card or an online brochure. It is not. Your website is your single most important sales tool. Its only job is to turn a curious visitor into a qualified prospect. That's it. A pretty website that doesn't generate quotes is useless. So what does a high-converting agency website look like? It's brutally simple. It loads fast, especially on a mobile phone, because that's where most of your visitors will be. It has your phone number, big and bold, at the top of every single page, and it's clickable. It has clear, impossible-to-miss buttons that say things like, "Get a free auto quote," or "Start my quote now." And most importantly, it builds trust. It needs to have your face on it, and your team's faces. People buy from people, not from logos. It should be littered with testimonials and reviews from happy clients. Real reviews from real people in your town. This isn't about vanity. It's about psychology. When a visitor lands on your site, they are subconsciously asking, "Can I trust this person? Are they legitimate? Are they local?" Your website needs to scream yes to all 3 of those questions within 3 seconds. The second part of your foundation is your local online profiles, and the king of them all is your Google Business Profile. This is, without a doubt, the most valuable free marketing tool available to any local business owner, period. It's that box that shows up on the right side of a Google search with your agency's name, address, phone number, hours, and reviews. Optimizing this is not optional. It's mission critical. You need to fill out every single section completely. You need to upload high-quality photos of your office, your team, and you. You need to be actively, relentlessly, systematically asking for and getting reviews from your clients. Every 5-star review you get is another vote of confidence in Google's eyes, pushing you higher up the local rankings. Think of it as your digital storefront on the busiest street in the world, Google Search. Pillar number 2, the engine. Once your foundation is solid, it's time to build the engine that will drive traffic to it. This is how people find you. Traffic generation breaks down into 2 main categories: paid and organic. You need both. Paid traffic is the fast lane. It's like pouring gasoline on the fire. You pay to put your message in front of the right people right now. The 2 most powerful platforms for this are Google Ads and Facebook Ads. Google Ads, specifically search ads, is the holy grail of high-intent traffic. Think about it. Someone in your town pulls out their phone and types, "Best car insurance rates in Dallas." They are actively looking for exactly what you sell. With Google Ads, you can place your agency at the very top of those search results. You're not interrupting their day. You're solving their immediate problem. The key is to be hyper-specific and local. You're not bidding on the keyword car insurance. You're bidding on car insurance agent in Springfield, Illinois, or cheap auto insurance quote zip code 60601. You control the budget. You control the message. You're buying a chance to talk to someone who has already raised their hand and said, "I need help." Facebook ads are different. It's less about intent and more about demographics. On Facebook, you're an interruption. People are there to see photos of their grandkids, not to buy insurance. But Facebook knows everything about its users. You can target people in your specific zip codes who are a certain age, who are married, who are homeowners, who have recently shown interest in buying a car. You can create an ad that speaks directly to them, maybe offering a free guide on 3 mistakes to avoid when insuring a new car. You capture their attention with value first, and then you guide them to your foundation. Now, while paid traffic is the accelerator, organic traffic is the long-term investment that pays dividends forever. This is the art and science of search engine optimization, or SEO. It's about structuring your digital foundation in a way that Google recognizes you as the most relevant authority for insurance in your area, so they show you in the search results for free. Local SEO is a game you can win. It starts with your Google business profile, which we already covered. It continues with getting reviews. And it's supercharged by creating content on your website that answers the questions your potential customers are asking. Create a page on your website for every single product you sell. A page for auto, a page for home, a page for renters. Write a blog post titled, How to Bundle Home and Auto in Your City for Maximum Savings. Create a short video explaining the state minimum liability requirements for drivers in your state and post it on your site. Every piece of content you create is another fishing line in the water. Another opportunity for a local resident to find you instead of your competitor, all without you paying a dime for the click. It takes time, but building organic authority is how you create a true, lasting asset. Finally, we arrive at pillar number 3, the conversion system. This is where the magic happens. It's also where 90% of agents fail. You can have the best foundation and the most powerful engine, but if your conversion system is broken, you're just lighting money on fire. Getting a click is easy. Turning that click into a quote request and that quote request into a phone call is everything. Your conversion system begins with a dedicated landing page. When someone clicks on one of your Google or Facebook ads, you do not send them to your website's homepage. A homepage is full of distractions, links to your blog, your About Us page, your staff directory. It's like inviting a hot prospect into your office and then immediately telling them to go wander around the building by themselves. A landing page is different. It's a single page with a single purpose, to get that visitor to take one specific action. It has a powerful headline that matches the ad they just clicked. It has a simple form asking for only the most essential information: name, email, phone. And it has one big, obvious button that says, Get my free quote. No navigation menu. No distractions. Just a clear path from click to lead. But the lead form is not the end. It's the beginning. The second part of your conversion system is your follow-up. This is what separates amateur agencies from professional selling machines. The moment someone hits submit on your landing page, a sequence has to trigger instantly. The speed of your response is the single biggest predictor of whether you will close that deal. We're not talking about calling them back in an hour. We're talking about seconds. Your system should automatically send them a text message and an email confirming their request. Something like, Hey John, this is Mike from XYZ Insurance. We just received your request for an auto quote and we're working on it now. I'll be calling you from this number in the next 2 to 3 minutes to go over the details. This does 2 things. First, it provides instant gratification and confirms their submission went through. Second, it pre-frames the phone call. They are now expecting your call. They know what number to look for. When you call them 90 seconds later, you're not a cold caller. You're the expert they just asked for help. This entire system, foundation, engine, conversion, is the blueprint. It's a holistic machine where every part works together. Your Google profile drives organic traffic to your website. Your website converts visitors with clear calls to action. Your paid ads drive targeted traffic to high-converting landing pages. And your automated follow-up system tees up warm, inbound conversations for you and your team all day long. This is how you stop being a gambler, hoping the next batch of purchase leads will be good. This is how you become the architect of your own growth, building a predictable, scalable asset that puts you in complete control. And in the next part, we're going to do a deep dive into that first pillar and lay out the exact step-by-step process for building a website that doesn't just look good, but that actually sells. So let's talk about that website. Because for 99% of insurance agents, their website is nothing more than a digital business card floating in the vast, empty void of the internet. It's a ghost ship. It might look professional, it might have your photo and your phone number, but it's not doing a single thing to grow your business. It's a cost center, not a profit center. It's a pretty picture that nobody is looking at. Think about your own website right now. Does it have a generic stock photo of a smiling family you've never met? Does it have a mission statement full of industry jargon like unparalleled service and customized solutions? Is the most prominent button a link to your Facebook page where you haven't posted in 6 months? If you're nodding your head, don't worry, you're not alone. But today that ends. We are going to transform that digital brochure into your #1 employee. A tireless 24/7 lead generating machine that never calls in sick, never asks for a raise, and works while you sleep. The first and most important shift you need to make is mental. Stop thinking of your website as a static page. Start thinking of it as your digital agent. Its sole purpose, its only job, is to identify potential clients, build just enough trust to start a conversation, and persuade them to take one single specific action. Request a quote. That's it. Everything on your website must serve that one singular goal. Anything that distracts from that goal is a liability and needs to be eliminated. So, how do we build this digital agent? It starts with the very first thing a visitor sees, what we call above the fold. This is the part of your site visible without scrolling. You have about 3 seconds to answer 3 critical questions in your visitor's mind. 1. Where am I? 2. What can I do here? And 3. Why should I do it with you? If a visitor lands on your site and can't answer those 3 questions instantly, they're gone. They will hit the back button so fast it'll make your head spin. So let's break it down. Your headline should be painfully clear, not clever. Something like, Affordable Auto Insurance for Families in Dallas, Texas. Question 1. Where am I? An insurance site for Dallas. Question 2. What can I do here? Get auto insurance. Then, a short subheadline can answer question 3. We compare the top 15 carriers in minutes to find you the best rate, guaranteed. Bam! Clarity. In 3 seconds, the visitor knows exactly what you offer, who it's for, and what the benefit is. No jargon, no mission statement, just a clear, compelling value proposition. Right below that, you need your call to action. And this is where most agents completely drop the ball. They suffer from what I call choice paralysis. They offer the visitor a dozen different things to do. Get a quote, call us, learn about us, read our blog, follow us on Twitter. A confused mind always says no. When you give someone 10 options, they choose none. Your digital agent has one job, remember? So it needs one primary call to action. A big, bold, impossible-to-miss button that says something like, get my free quote now. Every other link or button on the page should be secondary, much less prominent. The main goal must be the main thing. We want to guide the visitor down a single clear path that ends with them giving you their information. Now, just because you ask for the quote doesn't mean they're ready to give it. They don't know you. They don't trust you. The internet is a skeptical place. So, the next job of your digital agent is to rapidly build trust and credibility. And stock photos of actors pretending to be a happy family will not do that. People can spot a stock photo from a mile away, and it instantly screams impersonal corporate entity. You need to replace them with photos of you, your actual face, a photo of your team, a photo of your office, even if it's a home office. People buy from people, especially in a relationship-based business like insurance. Let them see who they'll be working with. It humanizes the entire experience. Below that, you need social proof. This is the single most powerful tool for building trust. Social proof is evidence that other people, just like your visitor, have used your service and had a great experience. The most powerful form of this is customer testimonials. Not just a block of text, but a photo of the client next to their quote. If you can get a short video testimonial, that's pure gold. Sprinkle these throughout your homepage. Another powerful form of social proof is logos. Are you a member of the Better Business Bureau? Put the logo on your site. Do you represent well-known carriers like Progressive, Allstate, or State Farm? Put their logos on your site. These are trust signals. They borrow the credibility of established brands and transfer it to you. You want your visitor to think, okay, this person is real, other people trust them, and they work with companies I recognize. It feels safe to proceed. Once you've established that trust, you need to make the process of getting a quote as frictionless as possible. This brings us to the quote form itself. I've seen agent websites with forms that are longer than a tax return. They ask for your date of birth, your VIN number, your social security number, your driving history since you were 16. This is the digital equivalent of asking someone to marry you on the first date. It's too much too soon. You will scare away 90% of your potential leads. Your initial quote form should be short. It should be simple. It should ask for only the absolute bare minimum information you need to start a conversation. Name, email, and phone number. That's it. You can call this a quick quote or a preliminary rate request. The goal is not to get every single piece of data for a full bindable quote right away. The goal is to get a foot in the door, to turn an anonymous visitor into a tangible lead that you can contact. Once you have them on the phone, you can gather all the other details. Asking for too much information up front is the #1 killer of website conversion rates. Keep it simple. Name, email, phone number. That's your golden ticket. Finally, we need to talk about where your visitors are actually seeing your website. You might be designing it on your big, beautiful 27-inch monitor in your office. But I guarantee you, the majority of your visitors are looking at it on a 6-inch phone screen while waiting in line at the grocery store. Your website cannot just be mobile-friendly. It must be mobile-first. This means the experience on a phone should be your top priority. It has to be fast, easy to read, and incredibly simple to navigate with a thumb. Pull out your phone right now and go to your own website. Don't just look at it. Try to use it. Is the text so small you have to pinch and zoom? Are the buttons so close together you can't accurately tap the one you want? How long does it take to load? If it's more than 3 seconds, you're losing people. And most importantly, try to fill out your own quote form on your phone. Is it a nightmare? Be honest. If it's difficult for you and you know what you're doing, imagine how frustrating it is for a potential client. Your digital agent must perform flawlessly on a mobile device, or it's failing at its job. So let's recap the blueprint for your 24/7 digital agent. First, a crystal clear headline and value proposition above the fold. Second, one single dominant call to action. Get my free quote. Third, build massive trust with real photos of you and powerful social proof like testimonials and logos. Fourth, a short, frictionless quote form that only asks for the bare essentials. And fifth, a flawless mobile-first design that is fast and easy to use on a phone. If you implement just these 5 things, you will be ahead of 95% of the insurance agents in the country. You will have transformed your website from a useless, expensive digital brochure into a predictable, scalable system for generating exclusive, high-intent leads for your agency. You'll have an asset that works for you around the clock. But here's the burning question. A perfect website with no visitors is still just a ghost ship. It's like building the most amazing insurance office in the middle of the desert. It doesn't matter how great it is if nobody can find it. So how do we get a steady stream of local, highly qualified prospects to find and visit your new lead generation machine? How do we make sure that when someone in your town searches Google for car insurance quotes, your website shows up instead of your competitors? That's the science of traffic. And that's exactly what we're going to break down in the next part. We're going to dive into the world of local SEO. And I'll show you how to make Google your #1 source of free, exclusive leads. So, how do we get in front of these people? How do we make our agency the first one they see when they're desperately searching for a solution? The answer is local search engine optimization, or local SEO. And I know that sounds technical and intimidating. It sounds like something you have to hire an expensive marketing firm for. But the core of it, the 20% of the work that gets you 80% of the results, is something you can start doing yourself today for free. This isn't about tricking Google. It's about giving Google exactly what it wants. See, Google's entire business model is built on one thing: providing the most relevant, helpful, and trustworthy answer to a user's question. When someone in your town searches, auto insurance agent near me, Google has a mission. Its mission is to find the best, most reputable agent in that area and show them to the user. Your job is simply to prove to Google that the best agent is you. Let's start by understanding the battlefield. Go ahead, pull out your phone right now and search for car insurance in your city. What do you see? At the very top, you'll probably see a few paid ads. We'll talk about those later in this series. But right below that, that's the gold mine. You'll see a map with 3, maybe 4 local businesses listed below it. This is called the map pack, or the local 3-pack. This little box is the most valuable piece of digital real estate in your entire city. Why? Because people trust it. Feels organic. Feels like Google is personally recommending these 3 businesses. Getting your agency into this 3-pack is like having a billboard on the busiest highway in town, except it's free, and it only shows up for people who are actively looking to buy what you sell. This is where the magic happens. This is where you get the phone calls from people who say, "Hi, I found you on Google, can you give me a quote?" Those are the best calls in the world. They are exclusive, they are high intent, and they cost you nothing. So how do we get in there? Comes down to 3 core pillars. The first, and by far the most important, is your Google business profile. This used to be called Google My Business, and it is the absolute foundation of your local online presence. If you haven't claimed and verified your profile, stop this video and do it right now. It's non-negotiable. Think of your Google business profile not as a simple listing, but as your primary digital storefront. For many prospects, this will be their very first interaction with your agency, and you need to optimize the heck out of it. Start with the basics: your agency's name, address, and phone number, what we call NAP. This information must be 100% accurate and consistent everywhere it appears on the internet. I mean exactly the same. If your address is 123 Main Street, don't put 123 Main Street on another site. That tiny difference can confuse Google. Next, your categories. Your primary category should be insurance agency. But then you need to add secondary categories like auto insurance agency, home insurance agency, and so on. Be specific. Tell Google exactly what you do. Fill out your service areas, your hours of operation, and add a detailed, keyword-rich business description. Don't just say, "We sell insurance." Say, "The premier auto insurance agency in Springfield, Illinois, specializing in finding affordable coverage for families, new drivers, and high-risk individuals. We offer free, no-obligation quotes for car, home, and life insurance." You see the difference? Now for the two elements that will truly separate you from the competition. Photos and reviews. Upload high-quality, real photos, not stock photos. I want to see a picture of you, picture of your team, the outside of your office, the inside of your office. Make it real. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Your photos are the first step in building that trust. And then there are the reviews. Reviews are the single most powerful ranking factor for the local map pack. Google sees reviews as a direct signal of trust and authority from the community. Your goal should be to have more recent, high-quality reviews than any other agent in your town. You need a system to consistently ask for them. Every time you have a happy client, every time you save someone money, every time you handle a claim smoothly, that is your opportunity. Send them a simple email or text with a direct link to leave a review. Make it easy. And when the reviews come in, you must respond to every single one, the good and the bad. Thanking someone for a positive review shows you're engaged. Responding professionally and helpfully to a negative review shows you care, and can often turn a bad situation around in the eyes of future prospects. The second pillar of local SEO is your own website. Your Google business profile is the storefront, but your website is the home base. All the authority you build needs a central hub to point back to, and that's your site. Your website needs to scream local. The title of your homepage shouldn't just be The Smith Agency. It should be The Smith Agency Top Auto Insurance in Springfield. You need to have what we call on-page SEO elements. This means making sure your website's text, titles, and descriptions are optimized for local search. Create a dedicated page on your website for every service you offer in your specific location. For example, a page titled Affordable Auto Insurance in Springfield. On that page, don't just list a bunch of generic information. Talk about Springfield. Mention local landmarks, talk about common driving conditions on Jefferson Street, or reference local suburbs like Chatham or Rochester. This proves to Google that you are not just an agency that happens to be in Springfield. You are the Springfield Insurance Agency. This level of local relevance is what Google loves to see, and it will reward you for it. And just like with your Google profile, make sure your full name, address, and phone number are clearly visible on your website, preferably in the footer of every single page. The third and final pillar is what we call citations and backlinks. This sounds complicated, but the concept is simple. A citation is just a mention of your agency's name, address, and phone number on another website. Think of directories like Yelp, Yellow Pages, the Better Business Bureau, or even insurance-specific directories. Google crawls the web looking for these citations. When it finds dozens of them, and they all have the exact same consistent NAP information, it's like getting dozens of references that all vouch for you. Tells Google, okay, this business is legitimate. Its information is consistent. It's a real, established part of the local community. Backlinks are even more powerful. A backlink is when another website actually links to your website. Think of it as a vote of confidence. A citation says you exist. A backlink says you are recommended. If the local Chamber of Commerce website or a local news blog writes an article and includes a link to your agency's site, that is a massive signal of authority to Google. You can get these by sponsoring a local Little League team, joining community organizations, or offering a scholarship to the local high school. It's about getting embedded in your local community online just like you are offline. So, to recap, 1. Perfect your Google business profile. Treat it like your most important marketing asset. 2. Optimize your website with location-specific content that screams local relevance. And 3. Build a consistent footprint of citations and authoritative backlinks across the web. This is not an overnight fix. SEO is like planting a tree. You do the work now, you tend to it, you nurture it, and over time it grows into a massive lead-generating asset that works for you 24/7 for free. It's the ultimate long-term strategy for building a sustainable, profitable insurance agency. But what if you can't wait for the tree to grow? What if you just closed a deal, you have some cash to reinvest, and you need the phone to ring tomorrow? That's when you stop gardening and you start opening the faucet. That's when you pay to play, jumping to the very top of Google instantly. And in our next part, we're going to break down the world of paid search advertising. And I'll show you exactly how to run Google ads that generate exclusive, high-intent leads without breaking the bank. So let's dive right in. Pay-per-click advertising, or PPC, is exactly what it sounds like. You create an ad, and you only pay when someone actually clicks on it. The biggest player in this game by a country mile is Google Ads. And for an insurance agent, this platform is the equivalent of setting up your office directly in the middle of a stadium filled with people who are all raising their hands and screaming, "I need to buy car insurance right now." It bypasses all the guesswork. You're not interrupting someone's day. You're providing the exact solution they are actively searching for at the very moment they need it. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. Google Ads? Isn't that a complicated, expensive way to just burn through my marketing budget? And you're not wrong to be cautious. If you just throw money at Google without a strategy, it's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. You'll spend a fortune and have nothing to show for it. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to patch that hole. We're going to build a system that turns clicks into conversations, and conversations into commissions. The entire foundation of a successful Google Ads campaign rests on one thing: keywords. These are the search terms people type into Google. Choosing the right keywords is the difference between catching a whale and catching a cold. A huge mistake agents make is bidding on broad, generic terms like car insurance. The competition for that term is insane. You're competing with the Geicos and Progressives of the world. And worse, the person searching for it might just be a student doing a research paper. Their intent is informational, not transactional. You need to get specific. You need to think like your customer. What would a 45-year-old father in Phoenix, Arizona, who just got a new minivan, type into Google? He's probably not typing insurance. He's typing something like best auto insurance quotes Phoenix or affordable family car insurance Arizona. These are called long-tail keywords. They have lower search volume, but the person searching them is 1,000 times more likely to buy. Their intent is crystal clear. They have their wallet out, and they're ready to make a decision. Your job is to find these golden nuggets. Think about variations: local auto insurance agent near me. Compare car insurance rates in Miami. Cheap liability insurance for old car. Brainstorm every possible phrase a real, motivated buyer in your specific service area would use. This single step will save you thousands of dollars and filter out 90% of the tire kickers. Once you have your keywords, you need to write the ad itself. This is your 30-second elevator pitch. You have a tiny amount of space, a few headlines and a short description, to convince someone to click your ad over all the others. Don't be clever, be clear. Your ad needs to do 3 things. First, it must mirror the keyword. If someone searched for auto insurance quotes Dallas, your headline should say something like Dallas auto insurance quotes. This immediately tells the searcher, yes, you're in the right place. It builds instant relevance and trust. Second, it must present a compelling offer or benefit. Why should they click on your ad? Save up to $500 a year. Get a free quote in 2 minutes. Local agents, better service. You need to answer the question, what's in it for me? And third, you need a strong call to action. Tell them exactly what to do next. Get your free quote now. Call us for a quick rate. Compare rates online. Be direct and use action-oriented language. This isn't the time to be passive. Okay, so you've got the perfect keywords and a killer ad. Someone clicks it. You just paid Google a few bucks. Mission accomplished, right? Wrong. This is where most agents fail spectacularly. They send that precious, expensive click to the homepage of their website. This is a lead generation sin. Your homepage is a digital brochure. It has links to your blog, your About Us page, your commercial lines. It's full of distractions. That person who was laser-focused on getting a quote is now lost in a maze. Instead, you must send them to a dedicated landing page. A landing page has one job and one job only: to convert that visitor into a lead. It should be a clean, simple page with no navigation menu to distract them. The headline on the landing page should match the ad they just clicked. The page should reinforce the offer you made in the ad. And most importantly, it should have a simple, easy-to-fill-out form. Ask only for the absolute essentials. Name, phone number, email, and maybe zip code. Every extra field you add to that form will drastically decrease the number of people who complete it. Make it as frictionless as possible. Add a big bold button that says, "Get my free quote." Include a single testimonial or a couple of 5-star reviews for social proof, and that's it. No clutter. No confusion. Just a straight line from the click to the lead. Now let's talk about the money, the bidding, and the budget. Google Ads operates on an auction system. Every time someone searches one of your keywords, an auction happens in milliseconds to decide which ads show up and in what order. But here's the secret. It's not just about who bids the most money. Google has something called a quality score. It's a rating from 1 to 10 that measures the relevance of your keywords, your ad copy, and your landing page. This is the great equalizer. An agent with a high quality score can actually pay less per click than a giant corporation with a low quality score and still rank higher. This is how you compete without a massive budget. By having highly specific keywords that match your ad copy, which in turn matches your high-converting landing page, you're telling Google, "I provide an excellent experience for your users." Google rewards you for this with a higher ad rank and a lower cost per click. This is the key to running a profitable campaign. You don't outspend the competition, you outsmart them. Start with a modest daily budget you're comfortable with, say $25 or $50 a day. Let it run. Gather the data. Google will show you which keywords are getting clicks, which ads are performing best, and most importantly, which ones are turning into actual leads. You then double down on what's working and cut what's not. You're not just spending money. You're investing in data that makes your campaign smarter and more efficient every single day. And of course, you have complete control over who sees your ads. You can use geographic targeting to ensure your ads are only shown to people within a specific 10-mile radius of your office, or only in certain zip codes, or across your entire state. This eliminates wasted ad spend on clicks from people you can't even write a policy for. When you combine hyper-targeted keywords, compelling ad copy, a dedicated landing page, and smart bidding, you create a powerful lead generation machine. And the best part? These leads are 100% exclusive. This isn't a lead you bought from a vendor who sold it to 5 other agents. This is a person who searched for a solution, saw your agency's ad, clicked on it, and personally filled out a form on your website asking you to contact them. The intent and the quality are simply unmatched. You're not chasing them, they are coming directly to you. Google Ads are fantastic for capturing people who are actively in the market, searching for insurance at this very moment. It's about fulfilling existing demand. But what about the massive pool of potential customers who aren't searching right now, but who are overpaying with their current carrier and would be a perfect fit for you? How do you get in front of them and create demand? That's where the 800-pound gorilla of social media comes in. In our next part, we'll dive into the world of Facebook ads, and I'll show you how to target your ideal customer with surgical precision, even before they know they need a new quote. Facebook is not a search engine. Nobody wakes up in the morning, grabs their coffee, and thinks, "I'm going to scroll through my high school friends' vacation photos and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a great deal on auto insurance." Just doesn't happen. And that right there is the fundamental mistake nearly every agent makes. They treat Facebook like a digital Yellow Pages, screaming "get a quote," into a room full of people who are there to talk to their friends. I learned this the hard way. My first ever Facebook ad campaign was a complete and utter train wreck. I spent $500, which felt like $5 million at the time, to boost a post with a generic stock photo of a happy family and a big bold headline that said, "Save money on SAR insurance." The result? 2 likes, 1 from my mom, and 1 angry comment from a guy named Kevin who said my rates were a ripoff. I got 0 leads. 0. I was convinced it was a scam, a money pit designed to drain the marketing budgets of small business owners like us. But then I saw another agent in a town 2 counties over who was absolutely crushing it. He was writing dozens of policies a month, and everyone knew he was getting them from Facebook. What was his secret? What did he know that I didn't? It took me months of trial, error, and a lot more wasted money to figure it out, but the answer was surprisingly simple. He wasn't trying to sell insurance. He was starting conversations. You see, unlike search engines where you capture existing demand on social media, you have to create the demand. You have to interrupt their mindless scrolling with something so relevant, so targeted, and so compelling that they stop, look, and listen. Facebook's power isn't in its ability to show your ad to everyone. It's in its terrifyingly accurate ability to show your ad to the right one. The platform knows more about your potential customers than you could ever dream of. It knows when they've moved, when they've gotten married, when they've had a baby, what kind of car they're interested in, and even if they're likely to be shopping for insurance in the near future. Your job is to leverage that data, not fight against it. So let's build a winning campaign from the ground up, focusing on the 3 pillars: the audience, the creative, and the offer. Get one of these wrong and the whole thing crumbles. Get them all right and you build a lead-generating machine. First, the audience. This is where the magic happens. Forget boosting posts to everyone in Dallas. That's like using a fire hose to water a single potted plant. We need a laser beam. Inside the Facebook Ads Manager, you can build your perfect customer profile. Start with the basics: location. You can target by state, city, or even drop a pin on your office and target a 15-mile radius around it. You can layer on age ranges. Maybe you specialize in clients between 30 and 55. You can add income levels. But that's just kindergarten. The real power is in the detailed targeting. You can target people based on life events. Think about the biggest triggers for an insurance review. Recently moved. That's a targeting option. Newlywed. That's a targeting option. New parents. You can target them. You can even target people who have shown interest in specific car brands. Do you have great rates for Honda or Ford owners? You can create an ad that speaks directly to them. But the holy grail of targeting is something called a lookalike audience. This is where you take a list of your best customers, your most profitable, loyal multi-line clients, and you upload it to Facebook. Facebook then analyzes the thousands of data points associated with those people, their demographics, their online behaviors, their interests, and it builds a profile of your ideal client. Then, it goes out and finds millions of other people across the country who look and act just like them. You can then narrow that massive audience down to just your specific zip codes. You are literally telling the most powerful algorithm in the world, go find me more people just like my absolute best customers. This is how you stop chasing random prospects and start attracting your ideal clients with pinpoint accuracy. Once you have your audience dialed in, you need to hit them with the right creative. This is your ad, the image, the video, and the text. And please, for the love of all that is holy, stop using cheesy stock photos. People can smell a stock photo from a mile away, and it instantly screams, salesman. The best performing ad creative for a local agent is almost always a picture or a short video of you. Yes, you. A simple, well-lit photo of you smiling, or a short 15-second video shot on your phone saying, "Hey Austin, my name is your name, and I'm a local agent right here in town." It builds instant trust and familiarity. You're not some faceless corporation. You're a real person in their community. Next is your headline. Call out your audience directly. Attention Travis County drivers. Or a message for Dallas homeowners. It makes them feel like the ad was made specifically for them because it was. Then comes the ad copy, the text itself. Don't start with "get a free quote." Start with a hook. A question, a surprising statistic, or a common pain point. Something like, did you know 7 out of 10 drivers in Texas are missing at least one major discount on their auto insurance? Or, tired of your insurance rates creeping up every 6 months for no reason? You're entering the conversation that's already happening in their head. After the hook, you briefly introduce the problem, agitate it slightly, and then present your agency as the solution. Keep it concise, conversational, and focused on their benefit, not your features. Finally, and this might be the most important part of all, is the offer. Get a free quote is not an offer. It's a chore. It's what every single agent and massive company is shouting from the rooftops. It has no perceived value. You have to offer them something valuable in exchange for their contact information. This is your lead magnet. Instead of get a quote, try offering a free no-obligation coverage review. Or a downloadable guide. The 5 biggest insurance mistakes Texas drivers make. Or a checklist. The new mover's insurance checklist. You're providing value up front. You're positioning yourself as the expert, the helpful advisor, not just another person trying to sell them something. The call to action is to get the valuable thing, not the quote. The quote happens on the back end, after you've already established trust and delivered value. So you have your laser-targeted audience, your authentic creative that stops the scroll, and your irresistible offer that provides real value. When they click on your ad, you send them to a simple, clean landing page that does one thing and one thing only. It reiterates the offer and asks for their name, email, and phone number. That's it. No links to your main website, no distractions. Just a simple form to claim the valuable thing you promised. When you combine these three pillars, a perfect audience of people who look just like your best clients, an ad that speaks directly to them from a real local person, and an offer that helps them instead of just sells to them, you transform Facebook from a money pit into a predictable, scalable, and profitable lead generation machine. You're no longer just another agent screaming for attention. You're the trusted advisor who shows up at the right time, for the right person with the right message. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but I can hear you thinking it right now. What is this going to cost me? How do I set a budget without just lighting my money on fire? And more importantly, what's the single most important number you have to track to know if any of this is actually working? Or if you're just making Mark Zuckerberg a little bit richer? That's what we're breaking down next. The single most important number is your cost per acquisition. Or, to be more specific to our world, your cost per bound policy. This isn't just another piece of marketing jargon. This is the number that acts as your North Star. It's the ultimate truth teller that cuts through all the noise of clicks, impressions, and leads to answer one simple question. For every dollar I put into this machine, how many dollars am I actually getting back in new business? Forget about cost per lead for a moment. I know that's what every lead vendor and marketing guru talks about. Get leads for $10, $5, $1. And it sounds great, but a low cost per lead can be the most dangerous vanity metric in your business. It's like celebrating how cheap your fishing bait is without ever checking if you're actually catching any fish. You can buy 1,000 leads at $1 a piece, but if none of them close, you just spent $1,000 to get really good at data entry. Your cost per lead was $1, but your cost per acquisition was infinity. You acquired nothing. Your cost per bound policy, or CPA, is the real measure of success. It's the total cost of your marketing campaign divided by the number of new policies you actually write. It is the final bottom line number. So let's walk through the math, because this is where the fog of war clears and you gain true clarity. Imagine you decide to run a Facebook ad campaign. You spend $1,000 in a month. From that $1,000, your ads generate 100 leads. At this point, you might be patting yourself on the back. $1,000 for 100 leads? That's a $10 cost per lead. Fantastic, right? Well, let's not celebrate just yet. Now comes the work. Out of those 100 leads, maybe you're only able to get 50 of them on the phone for a legitimate quote. The other 50 were bad numbers, didn't answer, or told you they filled out the form by mistake while trying to win a free iPad. So now we're down to 50 actual quotable prospects. You and your team work those 50 quotes hard. You follow up, you build rapport, you showcase your value. And at the end of the month, out of those 50 quotes, you successfully bind 5 new auto policies. 5. So what was your real cost? You spent $1,000. You got 5 new customers. 1,000 divided by 5 is 200. Your cost per acquisition, your cost per bound policy was $200. That is your number. Not $10, $200. This is the number that matters. It's the price you pay to acquire a new paying customer. Now, whether $200 is good or bad is a completely different question. It's neither. It's just data. It's the truth. And you can't make smart business decisions without the truth. So how do you know if a $200 CPA is a brilliant investment or a catastrophic loss? You have to compare it to the other most important number in your business, the lifetime value of that customer, or LTV. CPA is what you pay to get them in the door. LTV is what they're worth once they're inside. Calculating a precise LTV can get complicated, but for our purposes, we can create a very powerful, simple estimate. First, what's the average annual revenue you get from a new auto policy? Let's say the average premium is $1,800 a year, and your agency earns a 10% commission. That's $180 in revenue for the first year. Next, how long does the average customer stick with you? This is your retention rate. Let's say for your agency, the average client stays for 3 years. So, you take that first year revenue of $180 and multiply it by 3 years. That gives you a total of $540. This is the estimated lifetime value of that single auto policy customer. $540. Now the magic happens. You put the two numbers side by side. You paid $200 to acquire a customer. That customer, on average, will generate $540 in revenue for your agency over their lifetime. You spent $200 to make $540. That's a $340 profit. You have a winning system. You should be trying to figure out how to put more money into that system, not less. Every time you spend $200, a machine spits out $540 a few years later. Why would you ever turn that machine off? This is the profitability equation. LTV minus CPA. If that number is positive, you're growing. If it's negative, you're shrinking. Now let's flip the script. What if your CPA was $600? You spent $600 to acquire a customer that's only worth $540. You are literally paying $600 to lose $60. That is when you're lighting your money on fire. That's when you need to slam on the brakes and figure out what's broken in your system. Is your ad targeting wrong? Is your sales process weak? Are your leads low quality? The high CPA is the symptom. It's not the disease. It's the smoke alarm telling you to find the fire. A healthy benchmark that many successful businesses aim for is a 3-to-1 ratio of LTV to CPA. In our example, $540 to $200 is pretty close to that. It's a 2.7-to-1 ratio. That's a solid, scalable foundation for growth. If you can get it to 4-to-1 or 5-to-1, you're in the territory of market dominance. But here's where it gets even better for us as insurance agents. That simple LTV calculation is often a massive understatement of the true value. That $200 CPA didn't just buy you an auto policy. It bought you a relationship. What's the likelihood that you can bundle that auto policy with a home or renter's policy? Let's say you cross-sell a home policy to 1 out of every 3 of those new clients. That adds, let's say, another $800 in LTV to the equation for that customer. And what about referrals? A happy customer who you saved money for and provided great service to is your best marketing asset. If 1 out of every 5 new customers sends you just 1 referral that closes over their lifetime, the value of that original acquisition skyrockets. Suddenly, that $200 cost didn't just buy you a $540 auto policy. It bought you the opportunity for a home policy, an umbrella policy, and a stream of future referrals. The true LTV might not be $540, it might be $1,000 or $1,500. Now, a $200 cost to acquire $1,500 in lifetime value? That's not just a business. That's a dynasty. So you have to stop looking at your marketing spend as an expense. It's an investment. And the only way to know if it's a good investment is to stop obsessing over the cost per lead and start obsessing over the relationship between what you paid to get a customer, your CPA, and what that customer is truly worth, your LTV. Track these 2 numbers relentlessly. Put them on a whiteboard in your office. Review them every single week. They will tell you the absolute, unfiltered truth about the health of your agency's growth engine. Okay, so now you know the score. You know how to calculate your CPA and your LTV. You know the magic ratio to aim for. The next logical question is, how do you actually improve it? How do you systematically drive your acquisition cost down while pushing your customer lifetime value up? Because it's in that gap, the ever-widening space between those 2 numbers, that sustainable, explosive growth is born. And there are specific tactical levers you can pull to do just that. Let's start with the first, most misunderstood lever, your cost per acquisition. Everyone wants to lower it. Everyone thinks the goal is to find the cheapest leads possible. And everyone who thinks that is playing the wrong game. The real lever isn't just cost per lead. It's cost per acquired customer. And that is a world of difference. Imagine 2 agents. Agent Alex buys shared leads for $10 a pop. He's thrilled. He buys 100 of them for $1,000. He feels like he's winning. Agent Ben, on the other hand, generates his own exclusive, high-intent leads through a targeted local campaign. His cost per lead is $50, 5 times more expensive. On the surface, it looks like Alex is crushing it and Ben is getting fleeced. But then we look at the conversion rates. Alex is competing with 4 other agents for every single lead. His prospects are getting bombarded with calls. They're annoyed, they're price shopping, and they're exhausted. He works his tail off and manages to close 2 of those 100 leads. His total spend was $1,000 to acquire 2 customers. His real cost per acquisition? $500. Now let's look at Agent Ben. His $50 leads are exclusive. The prospect filled out his form, saw his face, and is expecting a call from his agency. They are warm. They have high intent. Because of this, Ben closes 20 out of his 100 leads. His total spend? $5,000. But he acquired 20 customers. His real cost per acquisition? $250. Half of Agent Alex's. The first lever you must pull is to stop chasing cheap leads and start investing in efficient acquisition. A higher cost per lead that generates a lower cost per customer is always the right move. This means prioritizing lead sources that deliver exclusivity and intent. even if the sticker price is higher. It means shifting your mindset from a cost center to an investment center. You're not spending money, you're buying customers at a discount. But even Agent Ben can do better. Because acquiring the lead is only the first part of the equation. The second lever is what happens in the 60 seconds after that lead comes in. This is the conversion velocity lever. Studies have shown that your odds of making contact with a new lead are over 100 times higher if you respond in the first 5 minutes versus just 30 minutes later. After 5 minutes, the lead's intent begins to decay exponentially. They get distracted. They move on. They start cooking dinner, helping their kid with homework, or worse, they fill out another form on a competitor's website. That $50 asset you just acquired is a rapidly melting ice cube. The top-performing agencies don't just have a follow-up process. They have a speed-to-lead obsession. The moment a lead hits their system, a symphony of automation kicks in. An automated text message goes out instantly. "Hey John, this is Ben's office. He saw you were looking for an auto quote and will call you from this number in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Talk soon." Simultaneously, an email is sent, confirming the request and introducing the agency. And most importantly, the lead is automatically routed to the agent's phone with a clear notification. New exclusive lead call now. This isn't about being pushy. It's about meeting the customer in their moment of highest intent with immediate, professional service. By pulling the conversion velocity lever, you can take a 20% conversion rate and push it to 25% or even 30%. For Agent Ben, that simple system takes his $250 acquisition cost and drops it below $200, without spending a single extra dollar on advertising. Those first two levers, lead quality and conversion velocity, are all about optimizing the front end. They're about taking your marketing dollars and squeezing every last drop of value out of them to acquire a customer as efficiently as possible. But the real wealth, the kind that builds legacy agencies, isn't made on the front end. It's made on the back end. This brings us to the third and perhaps most powerful lever, the cross-sell amplifier. You didn't just spend $200 to acquire an auto policy that pays you a couple $100 a year. You spent $200 to acquire a relationship. The auto policy was just the key to open the door. Now you need to walk inside the house. Most agents treat cross-selling as an afterthought. "Oh yeah, do you have home insurance?" They might ask at the end of the call. The elite agents build it into their onboarding system. The moment the auto policy is bound, the clock starts on the cross-sell sequence. Within 24 hours, the new client receives a welcome to the family package. It could be an email or even better, a short personalized video from the agent. The message isn't "What else can I sell you?" It's "My job is to be your risk advisor. To protect you and your family, we need to look at the whole picture." The system then schedules a policy review for 30 to 45 days out. The stated purpose is to review their new auto policy and make sure everything is perfect. The real purpose is to conduct a full risk assessment. During that call, you uncover their other needs. "I see you have a home. Who's protecting your single biggest asset?" Or, "Now that we have your cars covered, let's talk about protecting your family's income with life insurance." By systematizing this process, you're not just hoping for cross-sales, you're manufacturing them. If you can bundle just 50% of your new auto clients with a home or renter's policy, you've effectively doubled the first-year revenue from that initial lead. Your customer lifetime value, or LTV, doesn't just inch up, it skyrockets. That $200 acquisition cost now looks minuscule in comparison to the thousands of dollars in commission you'll earn from that household over the years. But what if we could make that lifetime value infinite? That brings us to the final lever, the retention flywheel. It costs 5 to 10 times more to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one. A mere 5% increase in customer retention can increase profitability by 25% to 95%. The math is undeniable. Yet so many agents secure a client, get the commission, and then disappear, only showing up a year later with a renewal bill. That's not a relationship. That's a transaction. And transactional relationships are fragile. The retention flywheel is a system of proactive, value-added communication that keeps you top of mind and cements your role as a trusted advisor. It's not about spamming them with ads. It's about genuine connection. It's an automated birthday text message. It's a quarterly email newsletter with tips on 3 ways to lower your home energy bill this winter, or how to prepare your car for a summer road trip. It's an annual, non-negotiable policy review call to ensure their coverage still matches their life. Did they get married? Have a baby? Buy a new boat? Their insurance needs have changed, and you are the one proactively guiding them. Each one of these touchpoints is another spin of the flywheel. It builds momentum. The client feels cared for, not just sold to. So when a competitor calls with a slightly cheaper quote, the client doesn't say, "Let me see the numbers." They say, "No thanks, I'm happy with my agent." This is how you build a moat around your business that no amount of advertising can penetrate. By pulling this lever, you dramatically reduce churn. You take a customer who might have stayed for 2 years and turn them into a client for 20. The LTV expands massively. And even better, these happy, long-term clients become your best source of new business through referrals. They start spinning the flywheel for you. So you see, it's not about any single one of these levers. It's about the interplay between all four. You invest in quality leads to lower your true acquisition cost. You implement a velocity system to maximize your conversion rate. You use a cross-sell amplifier to multiply the immediate value of each customer. And you build a retention flywheel to extend that value for a lifetime. When you do this, you stop living lead to lead. You stop being a price taker in the cutthroat lead market. You are no longer just an agent. You are the architect of a robust, predictable, and wildly profitable growth engine. You are consciously, deliberately, and systematically widening that all-important gap between what it costs to get a customer and what that customer is worth. But what happens when you master all four of these levers? You unlock something far more powerful than just a profitable agency. You unlock the perpetual growth machine. And in our final part, we're going to build it step by step. This machine isn't a piece of software or a secret script. It's a system, a philosophy. It's the mechanism that transforms your insurance agency from a high-effort job that's dependent on your daily grind into a predictable, scalable, and ultimately, sellable asset that works for you. It's the end of the hamster wheel. Let's break down the 4 core components and assemble this machine right now. First, you have the fuel intake system. This is your lead generation. Over the past 9 parts, we've dissected this from every angle. You've learned how to identify high-intent lead sources, how to diversify between shared, exclusive, and organic leads, and how to negotiate with vendors. By now, you should understand that the goal isn't just to get leads. It's to build a predictable, controllable inflow of opportunities. The perpetual growth machine doesn't run on hope. It runs on a measured, consistent supply of fuel. You know your numbers. You know that if you put $1 into this intake system, you get a specific number of shots on goal. There is no guesswork. This part of the machine is your throttle. You decide how fast you want to go by controlling the fuel flow. Second, we have the conversion engine. This is your sales process. All the fuel in the world is useless if your engine is inefficient. This is where your mastery of the initial contact, your perfectly honed script, your objection handling frameworks, and your follow-up cadence come into play. Your engine is meticulously tuned. You've eliminated the friction points. You know your contact rate, your quote rate, and your bind rate down to the decimal. This engine takes the raw fuel, the lead, and through a series of precise, repeatable actions, converts it into its first output: a new policy and gross commission. A rookie agent has a sputtering, unreliable engine. A master agent, a builder of this machine, has an engine that purrs. It performs the same way every single time, regardless of who is operating it, because the system is what guarantees the result, not the individual's talent on any given day. Third, and this is the component that makes the machine perpetual, is the momentum flywheel. This is your retention, your cross-selling, and your referral process. The initial sale, the output from the conversion engine, isn't the end of the process. It's the first push on a massive, heavy flywheel. When that new customer is on board with an incredible experience, that's another push. When their first renewal is handled flawlessly and they feel valued, that's another push. When you proactively reach out and bundle their home or renter's insurance, saving them money and increasing their loyalty, that's a powerful push. With every push, the flywheel spins faster and stores more energy. Soon it starts giving energy back. A happy, long-term client refers a friend. That's a free, high-conversion lead that didn't come from your fuel intake. It came from the flywheel. A client with multiple policies is far less likely to shop around at renewal, dramatically reducing churn and increasing lifetime value. The flywheel is what transforms a one-time transaction into a recurring, expanding revenue stream. It reduces your dependency on constantly acquiring new, cold fuel. It starts to generate its own. And fourth, overseeing it all, is the master control dashboard. These are your metrics, your key performance indicators. This is the brain of the entire operation. Your dashboard tells you everything. It shows you the cost per lead from the fuel intake, the conversion percentage of the engine, and the lifetime value being generated by the flywheel. It is this dashboard that allows you to be the architect of the machine, not a cog within it. You see a lead source's conversion rate dropping? You don't guess why. You look at the data, identify the friction, and adjust the engine. You see your LTV climbing? You look at what's causing it. Is it the new cross-sell campaign? And you double down. You don't run your business on feelings. You run it on facts. The dashboard gives you the godlike ability to see the entire system at a glance and make small, precise adjustments that have massive downstream effects. Now, how do we connect them all to create the perpetual loop? This is the secret. You create a dedicated feedback circuit. You take a predetermined percentage of the profit generated by the flywheel and the conversion engine, and you automatically pipe it right back into the fuel intake system. Think about it. A new lead costs you, say, $30. Your sales process binds 1 out of every 10, so your cost of acquisition is $300. But your first-year commission on that policy is $500. That's a $200 profit. The standard agent takes that $200 and puts it in their pocket. The machine builder takes $100 of that profit and immediately puts it back into the fuel intake, buying 3 more high-quality leads. The machine just fed itself. And because your flywheel is spinning, that original customer is now likely to stay for years, maybe add a home policy and send you a referral. The total value of that customer isn't $500. It's $3,000. But you only paid for the initial acquisition once. All subsequent profit is pure system-generated upside. This is the compounding effect. The profits from yesterday buy the leads for tomorrow. The system grows not because you are working harder, but because the system is designed for growth. It is self-funding. It is perpetual. At this point, your role fundamentally changes. You stop being the person turning the wrenches inside the engine. You stop being the one shoveling fuel. You become the engineer standing at the master control dashboard. Your job is no longer to sell. Your job is to optimize. You ask bigger questions. What if I could increase my bind rate by just 2%? What if I could increase my average premium by $50? What if I could boost my retention by 5%? You make a small tweak to your follow-up sequence, and your contact rate goes up. You introduce a new referral incentive, and the flywheel spins faster. Each small, data-driven improvement sends ripples of profit through the entire system. And this is where true scale happens. Once the machine is built and profitable, scaling is no longer a mystery. You simply turn up the dial on the fuel intake. You go from a $5,000 a month lead budget to $10,000. And because the system is proven, you know with near certainty that this will double your output because the engine and flywheel are built to handle the capacity. This is also the point where you achieve true freedom. Because the system is what works, you can now hire someone else to operate it. You can hire a new producer. You don't just give them a phone and a list and hope they succeed. You plug them into your conversion engine. You give them the scripts, the cadence, the system that you have perfected. Their success is now a function of the system, not their raw, unproven talent. The machine makes good people great. You hire a customer service representative to manage the flywheel, ensuring the onboarding and renewal experience is perfect every single time. They're not just answering phones. They are a critical component of the machine, tasked with keeping that wheel spinning. You, the agent, the owner, are now free. Free to work on the business, not just in it. You can focus on finding new, more efficient fuel sources, on designing new upgrades for the engine, or even on building a second machine. Or you can step away for a week, a month, and know that the machine will continue to run, to produce, to grow because it's not dependent on you anymore. This is the journey we've been on for these 10 parts. We started by simply trying to find a better lead. But it was never just about the leads. It was about using leads as the catalyst to build something bigger. A system, process, a machine. This is how you go from being an insurance agent who bought themselves a job to a business owner who has built a true asset. An asset that generates predictable profits, an asset that runs without your constant intervention, and an asset that you can one day sell for a life-changing amount of money, because you're not selling a book of business, you're selling a finely tuned, documented, perpetual growth machine. The blueprint is now yours. Every component, every schematic has been laid out. The question is no longer how. The only question that remains is, when will you start building?